So I personally think that Dawson might have taken a little shot at former OC Josh Gaddis during his interview today, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to dive any deeper. If you know, then you know. You're free to form your own opinion. That's just what I think. What's going on, Canes fans? At this point, I hope that you know the drill. Double check and make sure that you have clicked the subscribe button. You don't want to miss any news when it comes to the Miami Hurricanes, especially spring practice that's going on right now. And also, you can click the link at the very top of the description, and it will take you to the free Coach Coop Discord server. It's a place where we talk Miami Hurricane sports 24/7, 365. But anyways, we got that out quick today. Wow, I'm impressed. Let's get to the point. Let's get to talking about what you're really here for. Miami Hurricane Spring Practice Day 2 is a wrap, and I'm here to give you the summary. Now, just keep in mind that Day 2 really isn't that much different from Day 1. I mean, at this point, nobody's in full pads. You're really still focusing on some basics and fundamentals and trying to get accustomed to the different coaching styles with the new faces on this coaching staff. But there are some notable things that we can discuss, and I want to kick it off by talking about the quarterbacks, because today our new offensive coordinator, Dawson, was asked about his opinions when it comes to Tyler Van Dyke. And the very first thing that he said was football IQ and experience. He said that this has allowed him to roll out his offense quicker than he originally anticipated, which is very good. I mean, TVD does bring a lot of experience to the table, and he seems like a fairly smart guy when it comes to football. It's just, we still have all said that, did we crown Tyler Van Dyke too early after what we saw in 2022? But most Miami fans agreed that it was really him being handcuffed by Josh Gaddis, and maybe Frank Ponce messed him up a little bit. I talked about that last year. So Dawson seems to like him a lot. Now, when I say a lot, Dawson also described Tyler Van Dyke as elite and said that he believes that he's the perfect fit for the offense that he's trying to install here at Miami. Now, don't get it twisted. He also wasn't shy when it comes to praising Jakari Brown. It's very apparent that Brown has been working on his accuracy in the offseason, because you see them doing a lot of these drills with the quarterbacks that involve those 3-pocket nets, and Brown is regularly seen doing much better in those drills, because you can go back and play the clips from the practices last year, and Brown seemed to struggle with that drill a lot more. He's looking a lot better at it this year. And there's also been a big emphasis on quick throws so far in these first 2 practices. Again, we know that Dawson, wants to be vertical. He wants to run an explosive offense, but he has let everyone know that he's not technically calling it an air raid offense per se. He said that he's going to, now this is scary, okay, because we've heard this before, but just hold up. He said that he wants to, build this offense around the strengths of the players that he's working with here at Miami. And he just wants everyone to know that it's not just some kind of pure air raid offense. It might have some schemes from that and some plays, but we're also going to run the ball. It's also going to be balanced at times. It is going to be vertical and explosive, getting the ball out quick other times. Now, when it comes to wide receivers, Restrepo, Young, and Jacoby George have been getting a lot of reps with the first team offense. But again, just take that with a grain of salt, because right now nobody's in pads. They're trying to feel everything about. Don't look into it too much. But I do think that, the Restrepo, Young, and George combo could be very interesting this season. And the O-line coaches so far have been very impressed with Jalen Rivers. His name gets brought up pretty often, and he's been seen getting moved around all over the place. But that's okay. Again, they're trying to fill everything out, but he's getting a lot of snaps with the first team offense in these first 2 practices. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of info for you guys about the running backs today. All I can say is, collectively, can all of us Canes fans get together and hope and pray that Chaney doesn't even so much as stub his toe during spring practice this season, because we need that man healthy. I want to see what he's all about, what this offense can be like, what that running back room can be if he is in the mix. Please. But in the future, as spring practice progresses, I will get more information when it comes to how the running backs are performing. Again, this is day 2. Newcomer tight end Jackson Carver is also looking pretty good out there. He seems to be adjusting well to the college level. It's going to be tough out there for that dude, though, with guys like Skinner and Arroyo possibly in front of him. But again, every single one of these players, guys, even the incoming freshmen, it's so important that they get these valuable reps and snaps, especially the early enrollees here that are able to participate in spring. So it's good to have him out there early. The dude could be a freak athlete, an absolute beast here at Miami. A lot of people keep saying that he looks like Will Mallory out there. Some Canes fans are saying, whoa, I had to do a double take. I thought that was Mallory. Let's just hope, okay? The hands are a little bit better at times, and maybe the blocking is more consistent. Let's move on. And today the media got to ask Guidry what exactly his defense is considered, because, there have been a lot of question marks when it comes to that. And he did clarify that it is, in fact, a 4-2-5, and it's going to be the 5th DB playing the star position. So that's going to be that kind of hybrid corner safety position. And he did say, as we all already know, that at times he does like to have the defensive end stand up, but it's just, play by play. It just depends on, what the offense is showing. And sometimes he'll do it, sometimes he won't do it. But he does, in fact, run a 4-2-5 defense with that hybrid safety corner star position. And speaking of that star position, one more time, the guys that have been getting the most reps at that position so far have been Couch and Harris. But again, do not look too much into that because it's only day 2. So time will tell who ends up actually locking in that position. And I'm happy to say that Cam Kinchens is still probably the most vocal guy out there on defense, which is exactly what we need. And reporters were able to ask Guidry today what his first impressions were on Kinchens, and he said intelligent and explosive. Let's go. Now on the D-line, you're seeing a lot of backups get some reps so far in the first 2 practices due to some injuries and some shuffling around. But that's okay. I mean, there are some pros and cons to this. I mean, backups going ahead, getting some valuable snaps, but also some guys that are probably going to be the starters missing some valuable reps early in spring. Again, you can slice and dice it a million different ways, but at this point, we just have to roll with it anyway, so it is what it is. It was also good to see the Alabama transfer Cohen out there practicing with the offensive line at the left guard position. This was actually his very first spring practice as a Miami Hurricane. He missed the one last week, the very first one, because he was at some type of meeting for NFL prospects, potential NFL draft prospects. So this was his first practice out there. That dude obviously is probably going to see some playing time this season, so it's important to get as many reps in there as possible so we can work on, building that chemistry. And this probably isn't a surprise to most, but both the coaches and the players have nothing but good things to say about Jason Taylor and his coaching so far. Now again, that doesn't equal results on the field automatically. We got to see it to believe it. But they seem to like him, and he's fired up and is absolutely loving it out there. And at the moment, it sounds like the coaching staff is planning on having around 60 to 70% roughly of the offense and defense installed before the spring game. And then they'll just kind of feel it out, see how the team responds during the spring game and, in some of the scrimmages in a more live type environment, and then they will go from there. But I think that's a very realistic number. We've got some smart football players on this team. We got some guys that, have lots of experience, good football IQ that could pick it up relatively quickly. So I think that that's a reasonable goal. And just keep in mind that there's one more spring practice this week, but then the students will leave for spring break. So then there will be about a week and a half until the next spring practice. So we'll see a little bit of a gap there, one whole week without any spring practice news. And then things will start to ramp up quite a bit. So really looking forward to that. So don't freak out when you don't see a video about spring practice for a week, but there will be more than enough to talk about. But other than that, that's really about it for day 2. I can't wait till they get the pads on, guys. Once everybody goes full pads, they're actually hitting, it gets a lot more exciting and things start ramping up. Also gets a little more scary because, that's when some injuries and things happen, but we'll cross that bridge whenever we get there. But let me know down in the comment section below if you have any questions about spring practice. I get asked this a lot. People are always like, Coop, how can you report on spring practice when you're not actually in Miami? You live in Tennessee. And honestly, that's a very reasonable, good question. But you have to understand that it's 2023. The power of the internet. You can work from home. You can work remotely. You don't even have to be on location. I'm fortunate enough to have people that are at spring practice. They send me lots of clips. They kind of send me summaries of different position groups and what they saw. And I take that and kind of put that into a quick little video for you guys to watch, so you don't have to scour the internet looking for various different articles and forums and all that stuff. But you could also do both if you're just a Miami Hurricanes freak like me. If you bleed it, you eat, you sleep it, then you could do all of the above. But that's kind of the idea. I'm not actually there. Life would be easier maybe if I just moved to South Florida, and then I could do the media pass thing and get the clips from practices and post it. But I like the slow and steady lifestyle here in Tennessee. And the media pass is cool, but for what I personally do on this channel, it limits me a little bit too much. This is probably a weird way to end the video, but there's certain things that can be said and can't be said. Even when you do get to view practices, it's limited to like 10, 15, 20 minutes. So it might sound crazy, but covering the Canes, it's not worth it for me to move all the way down to South Florida, start an entirely new life when I'm pretty comfortable here in Tennessee and I just travel back and forth. Power of the internet is an awesome thing. But chop it up. Let's talk about spring practice day 2 down in the comment section. Things will ramp up and get more exciting very soon. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.